This demo highlights the process for adding action items within the Lean Office toolkit. The first step here, once you've logged into the tool using the username and password provided, is to click on this Action Items link. It's a button about halfway down the page on the left-hand toolbar. This will take you to the Manage Action Items page. And the first time you load the page, there won't be any action items present, so we'll click on this Add Action Item button, and several fields will pop up in this view. The first one is probably the most important, that's the action item itself. It's really important to remember to add an action verb to this action item so that you can tell if that has actually been completed or still needs work. So in this case, we'll do create adding action items video. Next up is assigning an owner. You can tab down to that field and start typing immediately. And any available user that meets that criteria will appear in that drop-down list. Alternatively, you can simply click on the field and the entire list of users in the system will appear here. So if you don't see a user that needs to be in this drop-down, you need to add them to the Lean Office process. So in this case, I'll assign this to 2 users. Notice that you can have more than one user identified here. It is important to note you have to assign an action item to at least one user. So there is an owner for that action item. Next up is due date. By default, it will show you today's date, but you can set it for any date out into the future that you would like. And next is the categories and tags. This option behaves really similar to the owners field in the sense you can grab multiple selections from the drop-down. The main difference here is you don't actually have to have a category identified. Categories are really helpful just in breaking down large groups of action items into individual groupings. So if you have certain meetings happening on a recurring basis, you can actually flag all of those with the same category for ease of use in referencing those later. The final field here is the notes field. Again, this one is optional. Just helpful if you're trying to remember key facts about the action item, why it was being generated, any reference documents necessary. You can reference those here. The final step in adding an action item is to click this Save button, and now that action item will appear on your Manage Action Items page.